Sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are. So welcome, everybody. We're talking about Facebook business accounts and things. So Lynn, I'll touch on that. Rick, you had your hand up. You wanted to... You're on mute.
Did you want to wait till after or no? For me to make a comment.
No, you can make a quick comment.
Okay. I was actually on another coaching call and talking about Facebook ads and again, a lot of detail, but this is with a little different group. And this guy's he's got a lot of experience with digital marketing. And one of the comments, they've done a lot of research on this. And what they found is for Facebook, now this might be different for everybody. This is just his opinion and my opinion, so it may not be correct for everybody. But what he suggested was because Facebook ads can get really expensive real fast, he suggested one of the way to use Facebook ads is to use their forum ads, like they're really inexpensive one, really just to get some engagement. Even if you can just get their email, even if you get something free and give them an email address, get their email address and their name, and then you can actually start selling them inside your phone.
Right.
So it's a lot less expensive than trying to buy a whole bunch of clicks and sales and stuff like that.
Right. So there's different reasons, different goals that you can put into Facebook. And so I want to kind of touch on that because with the new Meta Business Suite, it's almost like the way that they put it up. And it's harder to find when it's just engagement, if that's what you're looking for. So now when it comes to the Meta Business Suite, so Lynn, you're asking about the profile. When you're in here, you want to make sure, let me go back to just the home here. So there's different things. So it'll pull up any of the business accounts that you have, right? And the different pages that you're managing, right? So you'll want to set up your basic account under settings is typically where a lot of that will be. You can put all the elements that you need in here. Okay. So normally if they're going to get into, if they want you to complete something, a lot of the times it's somewhere in here. They want to make sure the emails, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So I've got the different accounts that I want here. There's different ones that you can get into. All right. So if we go back to the home, so that's when they're asking you to fill stuff out. That's what it is. Now, if I go to run an ad, if I want to create an ad now, they start out with these goals. So automated is one way. Boosting a post is a little bit different. Promoting your page means essentially I want to get it. So if you click promote your page, you're creating an ad with really the idea that I want people to come look at my page and hopefully click, right? So this is, right now, when you go to do this, if you go to get started, it'll bring this up, and then you're going to go through these basic questions. Do you want people to come to your business? No, that doesn't apply to me. Do you have a website? Yes. People buy products? Yes. Do you want them to book an appointment? No. Right? So you'll go through this. You can get leads through your site. Yes. Do you want people to contact you? Absolutely. Call me, share their contact information, message me on Facebook. I want any possible way. And so that's why the about that Tom was just talking about, you want to make sure you've got information there. If you're worried about giving out your number, you don't want to do that. Get a Google Voice account or something, or get rid of they call me. I want them to call. So there you go. I'm going to do US. You can put in worldwide. You put in whatever. And then you have topics that your audience might like. So this is why researching your audience is important. We've talked about that. Understanding the demographics of your audience. This isn't what you like. This is what your audience likes. So if I'm going after life coaches or personal development people or small business entrepreneurs, these are some of the things that I might put in there. They want you to have, I think there's 10 that they allow you. You can start to create ad versions. So there's all of this. So that's one way to do the automated ads. I'm not looking to do that right now. if you want to generate more messages, so you want to try to drive people to your bots, if you want to boost a post, if you want to promote the page. So they give you different ideas here. The get more leads, this is the one Rick was kind of talking about, that you can create a basic contact form. The most basic one you have, so full name and email. You can give them something here. Short answer questions, by the way. If you add things like this, the more that you add at any point here, it's always going to lower your conversion rate. The more work that you ask someone to do. So it could just, even if it's a yes or no question, more boxes that I add here. Oh, where are you located? Job title, company. Yeah, it may be great if you want to add job title, but hopefully you've kind of dialed in your demographic enough that I'm not asking all of this. But this is, you know, the more that I ask, the more it's going to.
What about just asking for their email and never mind even full name, just email? Because sometimes people,
that's fine.
That will sometimes get people, more people.
Yeah. And then, but so if I'm collecting emails though, I better have an email campaign set up, right? So within the partner program, we give you a handful of emails, but long-term, creating an email list is a good thing, right? There's power in your list, just like your followers on Facebook. But if you're collecting their email and you don't do anything with it, it doesn't do you any good, right? Any questions on that? Am I confusing people? I got a couple of, no, we're good. All right. So let's say I'm going to do full name and email. Oh, maybe, no, full name is going to just be, I think, Rick, on this, I think Facebook is going to give you the full name because I can't unclick that. So I'm guessing Facebook just pulls it. Okay. And then you can come in, this is the description for your company, but you're going to create something here. You put in your headline. If you've got a button, right? So this would be if, like Rick mentioned, you want to give something away. So maybe what you do is a white label little folder, pull some, you know, if you're going after life coaches, use the life workbook that I give you in the Google Drive folder. Okay. Do you have to pay for that? Do you have to pay for ads? Yeah.
So where do I find that Google Life? Where do I find that?
In the Skype group, in the Google
Drive.
Skype,
in the Skype group?
Yeah, I've given you guys access to this Google Drive.
In Skype?
Okay. I'll pull it up.
Okay,
I'll pull it up here in a minute. Okay. So yeah, Sarah, Craig, this is essentially you're going to go through this and you're going to run an ad, right? And so, like, let's say I create this and I say, you know, headlines like trying to bring some color to your life, wanting to add more, you know, I don't know, love to your heart, whatever, right? Like I'm going to do something I'm just playing around with the picture here. You know, does your business need some love? And then I can give them a super basic business plan thing or how to connect with your customers or whatever. I can give them something. And then I use an email grab in order to do that. So there's a chance I end up with people liking my page and everything else. I'm creating some momentum. You put in the budget that you want. You can create your audience, modify your audience here. Does anybody need to see how to modify the audience? Or have we all learned how to do that? So if I want to change my audience here, I can come in. I can modify the age. Let's say I don't want to do 65. I want to go to 55. And I don't want 18-year-olds. Let's say we do 25 to 55. Everyone's in the US. I've got this. Now here I can add a few more. So let's say business owner. Small business owners. Let's see, what else do we have? Business page admins. That means they run a business page. So I'm going to get in front of marketers. I'm going to get in front of business owners. Right? So I can play around with this. My estimated audience size is still pretty big because it's getting in front of all of those. You can target this down. You know, you can say, you can dive into the ads manager and it'll get even more detailed, but this will work for our purposes today. Let's say we save that audience, 194 to 559. Yeah. So this is a $5 budget over 7 days. $5 daily budget over 7 days, $35 is what I've got in here. Craig, you got a question? Or Sarah does, somebody does. Somebody's got their hand up. You're on mute. I can't hear you. Your audio's not working for some reason, Sarah. You might need to type in. Sorry. Audio's not working. With what I just showed you guys, thoughts, questions, concerns? I'm familiar with Frank Kern. I haven't studied his raise the hand method.
What's happening there is he talks about, he said a lot of times when we do ads on Facebook, we tend to get too restrictive on our demographics. And what happens is, he says, one of the best ways to find your demographics is to actually help Facebook find them for you. And the way you do that is basically, you still have some demographics or maybe some filters in there, but he says you do the cheapest form of ad you can just to find out who's actually looking, who has interest in your stuff. And then Facebook will create an audience for you.
Yeah. So they have, it's kind of the campaign budget optimization. So Facebook will see what ads working and what audience is working. Here's the thing about that. You've got to be willing to spend money and not just run one ad. The whole reason you run an ad like that creates some engagement and you go broader, a much broader audience, is to find out who's engaging and what's going on. And if you've got a video, how much of the video are they watching? Are they liking and commenting and things like that? Then I retarget that one. So I'm spending money on another ad. So that's essentially, I'm going to go out and I'm going to test. Now, like I've had my buddy Brock on here, and it's kind of like the example that he uses when you go to Costco, right? And I know some of you guys don't have a Costco. Have you guys ever been into a supermarket or been into a store and they give away samples for food, right? They got someone in the store, they're prepping it, and they go, here you go. You ever walk through in the mall here in the US, you know, you walk in around the food court and they got the person standing out there with the tray giving away food, right? And as a kid, I used to just walk around and then I'd walk away for 30 minutes and I'd come back around and you would hit up 2 or 3 Chinese places and you would hit the little Greek Hoven places with the wraps, and then you would hit somebody else. And so after a couple of rounds, you know, now you're good. They're spending money to get that out, right? They're spending money on the food, the prep, the material, everything else. It's the same thing like, you know, if you're running an ad for engagement, all you're trying to do is get kind of a sample out there to people to say, hey, do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this? And someone will go, yeah, that's great. And they'll keep walking, and others will end up buying, and others will look at you and go, no, no, no. It's still a cost to be out there, right?
I think he was talking more about just getting some people reviewing. And when you get people reviewing, then kind of Facebook kind of figures who's looking at your stuff, not even necessarily engaged, who's even looking at your stuff.
Right. But then you've got to run another ad to retarget, right? Facebook, you've got to do that oftentimes multiple times or for multiple days with a certain amount of budget for Facebook to do it. Because if I'm just doing like a $3 budget for 2 days, it's not going to be enough data for Facebook to figure it out. So you've got to allow the algorithm to work. So I've got to be willing to spend a few bucks. Yeah. Now, if my goal is to get more engagement to my page and eventually sell through that, right? And typically, I'm not necessarily going to run an ad straight to my blueprint. I'm going to give away something, right? Something basic. It could be a basic ebook or something like that. Here's a little training. Some of you guys want to get super creative. I know we've had members that have done like a 3 or 4 part digital training on basics, right? Like they're targeting maybe an older audience and they do Facebook basics. Here, free 3-part video training, right? So, David, you don't necessarily control. So the question is can the advertiser control the number of people targeted? You control the demographics, so age, etc. And then you control the budget, and then you control all of the interests and, you know, behaviors. And in doing that, Facebook will tell you how many people it'll reach. Now, this is low, but what I'm asking Facebook for is very specific. Like these are real specific, 25 to 57. They like some of these things. They're business owners or business page admins. So yeah, I'm only going to reach a handful. They expect out of that. Now, if you guys are looking at this, that's, let's say 600, and they're talking 8 to 24 leads. That's 1 to 3% conversion, guys. 1 to 3%. That means even if my ad is great, that's 3% conversion. That's not real high. That's why we talk about marketing is all about testing. So I would, I would run this for a couple of days if I'm trying to get leads. First thing I would do is, like Rick was talking about a second ago, go after engagement. It'll help me figure stuff out. It'll tell Facebook who some of my people are. That'll help it out and then even if I change up things a little bit, Facebook's going to go, yeah, that's great. We've got a good idea already. And now that audience that I introduced myself to before with a video or a giveaway or something, now I'm going to, just regular engagement. Now I'm going to come back and go, hey, here, I've got this for you. You should click. So I can't necessarily, David, control and say, hey, I want it in front of 10 people or 10,000 people or 20,000 people. It'll tell you how many people. And if you want it to be a broader audience, then you need to modify your demographics or you need to increase your ad spend. Because if they go, hey, if that's all you want, if you're only going to spend $5, then we're only going to put it in front of that many people. Now, if I were to come in here and modify my ad spend, right? So I've got 7 days in here. If I change this to, let's say $70, that's $10 a day. Well, now my reach has gone up and they're saying, okay, well, we'll show it to 400 to 1,100 people a day. And so you should get 17. Now, if you notice, my conversion rate hasn't increased. If anything, well, it just, they're saying it essentially is staying the same, right? But just because I'm, $300 for 7 days, so I'm $60 a day now. So it just depends on how much I'm willing to spend. But what I would do if I'm going to run ads is I would start with some engagement. I would start by getting it in front of an audience so they see me a couple of times. Then I'm going to come back around and I'm going to show them, that survey, give me email for this ebook or whatever. Then I'm going to offer them something where they have to take some action once they've been introduced a couple of times, right? I'm not going to shove it down their throat and say, buy my stuff right now until I've introduced myself a little bit. Because people are going to buy from who they know, like, and trust. And the only way to get to know you and like you and trust you is by exposure. People need a little bit of that exposure. So this is the same things hold true for organic. I'm not going to just say, buy my stuff. I'm going to expose them to some of my content. Right? Now, the cool thing that's in here now, I don't know if you guys, so I'm going to close this. I'm not worried about that right now. There's a planner in here now, guys. Anybody know that? There's planners. They give you moments like, oh, hey, August 2022, August 11th is son and daughter day. So you can start to create now a post. Relaxation day, Monday, August 15th. August 21st is typical back to school, depending on where you're at. National Dog Day. They're giving you a handful of topics. They're giving you some templates that you can use. Guys, I mean, come on. Right? I can come in here Thursday the 4th. I can schedule a post. I can create something right here. It'll tell me, hey, your best time to post is going to be tomorrow morning based off my audience. Some of you guys that you like to be nice and structured, might be worth getting to know the new Meta Business Suite. So let's say I'm going to put it in there for tomorrow. This is my page. This is my Instagram, right? Here's my text. You can customize it. I can put it, fix it for Instagram. Come on. Guys, how much easier is this? Now I come in, I look at pictures. I'm going to do, That'll be the picture. And play around with it, right? You put in the text. I can schedule it. Has anybody else seen that? No? Does that make it easier? Have you figured that out? Okay. So again, is the ad on 24/7 or can we control the time of day? So no, you let it run, David. You let it run because Facebook is trying to figure out the best time to let it run. It'll tell you, if it's not getting impressions, it'll pull it back. Bruce, question.
Is that a free service from Facebook? Will you pay for those
the post scheduling is free.
Oh.
That post scheduling is free. Now, running an ad is different. That's just a post scheduler, right? But I've got to have my business page set up. I've got everything in here, and then the planner's here now. So this is just so I can schedule a post, a story, or an ad. So I'm going to tell it to schedule a post or a story or the ad. I can do that, right? So I can create this reel. So like my new assistant, I've got to download it, but I'd be able to add the video. So I need to get in here and download that and be able to do that. But I can post those reels. And then I can see it as a preview before I run it.
Is that only on your business?
That's the business suite. That's inside the business suite. So the personal doesn't have it. Facebook wants you to run a business on Facebook because it's the way that they get money. Like that's just, and every platform it does it, so we set them up before they get posted. You don't have to, you can just do it. If you're in a hurry, guys, just do it on your phone. Some of you guys that are super busy, James is always on the road. So maybe at night, what he does is he plans out a week of posts. You guys grab a Saturday, take some of the posts that we give you inside of the dashboard, get a handful of pictures, write a few of them out, set them up, and then all you have to do is, somebody commented, and I just, every day, right? If you're struggling to maintain, like this is tailor-made for me, 100%. So now I can schedule them out. All right, so Craig, hands up. Yeah, Lynn, you'll get there, right? But it's a good start. Craig, you got a question? He's frozen. He's frozen looking. I mean, Sarah.
Hi, Andrew. What we're finding is that
your audio. Try with your video.
Sure. What we're finding is if you can imagine this is the loop that you're saying, Sarah's doing very, very well at creating. Say again?
I try it with your video off because you're still kind of breaking up.
Okay. Is that any better for you?
Yeah, we can kind of hear you.
Is that any better?
Yeah, give it a shot.
Okay.
And we're lost again.
Okay, great stuff. So Sarah's been doing quite a lot of work on creating the posts, and we're getting quite a lot of traction. And it's just now how best to sort of close the loop and move those people that have expressed an interest or commented on it, how best to sort of engage with them, because they're engaging on a personal basis. Mm-hmm. And we obviously want to convert that and make it into a business buyer seller relationship.
Are the ones that are commenting and engaging, are they in the niche that you're wanting to engage with? Like, are they in the business that you're wanting to engage with? Yeah. So start asking them, engage on their page, engage on your, it's a balance. So Blake talks about it and everyone else talks about it too. And Tom kind of mentioned it at the very beginning of the call. There's a balance between personal content, other content, and then the offer, right? So it's, you still want to put your offer out there about 10 to 20% of the time. Most of it's other stuff, but that's where once they start engaging with the other content, then you'll put out with your regular stuff, then you'll put out something regarding the business. And, you know, if you're doing your job right as you create that content and engaging them, then this will be interesting to them as well. Maybe you ask a question that is kind of poll oriented, you have them comment and do certain things, and then you offer some kind of solution. And the solution could be, you know, a free guide or whatever, like we've talked about, to get them used to taking that step. Or you could message them, comment below, message them privately. Hey, appreciate the comments. You know, tell me about your business. What do you do? What are you offering? What's going on? And then, like, it just depends on the sequence and where you're comfortable and how often they're engaging, right? Look for other success stories, share their, you know, if they shared a business success on their page, reshare it. So it's, you know, blending in the business and the personal as you're doing it. And then it's not a, oh my gosh, how do I broach this subject? Right? So some of your content has to be that as well, because otherwise it is awkward, right? Then it's the weird uncle that shows up at the family reunion that's trying to sell you something, and you're like, this is a family environment. Now, if all of the time that I'm engaging with someone, you know, I'm talking about their business and I'm talking about what they're doing and I'm sharing what I'm doing and what others are doing, then it'll naturally arise. It's not awkward. And I hope that kind of shares some. So here's what I just showed you guys with the Meta Suite. And I know some of you guys aren't quite there, but a few of you are. How many of you feel like you might use that planning tool to schedule your posts? Okay, so we got at least a half dozen. So here's a challenge. First one that can show me that they scheduled 5 posts out. Okay, they got it set up or for the next week. I don't know. I'm going to give you something for free. I don't know if I'm just going to Venmo you $5 or if I'm going to give you one of the access to some of the content that I paid for at some point. So there's going to be some kind of reward. So here's what we're going to do. Everybody that gets in there that does it, I'm going to give some kind of content. The person that does it first will get a little bit more. We'll do that. Okay. So utilize the Meta Business Suite. And if you haven't yet, then just post for 7 days in a row. But the first person that can kind of take a screenshot, show me that they've scheduled out for the next 7 days, will get something. Okay. We'll figure it out. I just learned about the planner like right before we got on, and I thought it was one of the coolest things that they've added, because forever people are asking about other apps or other programs where they can schedule stuff. And so you're buying this, you're doing that. Facebook's giving it to you for free, guys. Utilize it. Okay. There's all sorts of stuff that you can do. I don't know, Lynn. We can test. Log into the Meta Business Suite and then go to the planner and see if it says, hey, you need to do X. They might make you finish first. I don't know. I don't have a profile that's not done yet. But if they go, hey, you're not done yet, then we finish it. You know, message and then we'll help get it finished, set up. Okay. All right, guys, that's the challenge for today. Not ready yet to complete on any level. It's not competing. You're competing with yourself, Fanny. Well, it is a competition, but what you want to do is just post on your page. Get accustomed. If you're not ready to launch yet, just get used to posting on Facebook. Okay. If you're not ready to launch, just get used to starting. All right. Appreciate you guys. I'll dive deeper into this since they updated so much. I'll dive deeper in. I'll share some stuff tomorrow and we'll get into it. Appreciate you. Go have a great day.
Sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet.
Appreciate all
Go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenix.